First of all, let me to introduce myself. My name is Antonio Zangrilli. I'm the project manager of the EIC Access Plus project. That is a project funded by the European Innovation Council, like InnoMatch. And then basically, what we do is to support EIC awardees in accessing to the EIC service catalog of services. So the project is starting in August 2024, and let's say the termination date is we are negotiating now with the European Commission to have an extension of the project, since we are receiving a lot of requests, and so the project will the natural date of the deadline is next July, even though we can accept application up to May, but so we are negotiating an extension. So probably we will extend the date, and so we have more time for the applicant. The applicants more time to apply to our project. So what we do is basically to provide a financial support to those beneficiaries that would like to ask to access to the services into the catalog. So you know that there is a catalog. The services some services cost us more or less a lot. So what would we do is to provide financial support to reduce the accessing cost to those services. So we have now received a fund from the European Commission. It's about 3.45 million. So 70% of this fund has been already committed, and so we are committing also the others. The beneficiary we support are awarded project participants, and also Seal of Excellence holders received by the EIC project commission. So our target is to support 180 firms and so far more or less we supported have the numbers later on, but 167. Who are our beneficiary we are supporting? So we have the participant in Pathfind Transition Accelerator project. So the organization who participated or have been participating in this project can apply to Access Plus, but also we are supporting the Seal of Excellence holders, but with the limitation that only Horizon Europe program Seal of Excellence could participate, and not for the others. And there are two minor categories that we support. There are spin-offs generated in one of the before mentioned project, but also we are supporting the partners coming from EIC pilot project 2018 and 2020. So these are the groups of beneficiaries we can support, and just to provide you some practical examples. So the partners of this project, like universities, or the majority are SMEs, but also other public-private organizations. We can support them, and they have been applying to our funds. So the key figures for us. So we have a target to support up to 180 organizations. They could be firms, they could be business firms, organization, research center, something like that. So now we are at 167 applications. What we do is to provide a grant. It's a financial support. It's a lump sum that we pay to these beneficiaries with a threshold of 60,000 euros per beneficiaries, and they use this grant for accessing the service into the catalog. So if they have to pay some cost into the catalog, so we can reduce up to the 50% of the cost they have to support to access to those services. And the services we are supporting are all the services listed in the catalog. So for internal purposes, we group these services in 4 service packages. That the differences from among these service packages are relating to the amounts that they can receive for each services. For instance, if we consider research package and services like access to infrastructure or prototyping services, we can pay up to 60,000 euro. For business acceleration services, we can pay up to 30,000 euro, and as well as for the access to funds. And for skill improvement services, we can pay up to 10,000 euros. Back to the topic of today's topic. So if we, for internationalization services, there could be specific development or market strategies for going to abroad, or like also matchmaking, but also business plans is mostly are related to internationalization of the business. We can pay up to 30,000 euros for in terms of lump sums. So for instance, if you have a cost of 60,000 euros, then half of this cost is paid is covered by Access Plus. The other half should be covered by the applicant itself. How to apply to Access Plus? So we have the first way, and let's say most is here, is to directly from the service catalog. So you can, if you go to the service catalog, you can see a red button there, and clicking the red button, you are redirected to our website, and then you can start the procedures to apply. So when you go if you go in our web page, there is a funding page purely dedicated to the applications. So there is a button apply here. You click, you enter, you register yourself, and then you can access to the template for the application. So as I told before, now the official deadline is still for the application is still May 2026. Even though we are negotiating with the Commission, we are in a good pace with the Commission. So we hope to extend the deadline up to December 2026. So there is more time for the newcomers to apply to Access Plus. When we receive the application, they are grouped in a course, and then each course is evaluated in the next week. So we receive in 1 week the application, we group them, and the next week we make the evaluation. There is an internal committee formed by the Access Plus project members that we evaluate this application. The evaluation criteria are fair and open and transparent. So we check if the beneficiaries are EIC awardees, Seal of Excellence, spin-off generated. So just if they are the right to apply. So we check, of course, they cover the geographical coverage. We accept application from a EU country and associated country. So we also check if they already received incentives for those costs they are declined to Access Plus. We check if they have already reached the grant limit. And we also ask to provide in the application, as you can see, if you go in the application template, we ask them to describe the service they are applying to. And then we also check if the service delivery will be, of course, within now, the official date is June 2026, but if we have an extension, this date will move to October 26. And then we check if the service provider be selected among those present in the service catalog. Regarding the payment, the reporting and payments, so we have a double approach. For regarding the approach is different according to the lump sum we are paying to the beneficiaries. For lump sum up to 10,000 euro, we made the payment at the end of the service delivery. So we ask to the service provider to deliver the services, and then the applicant can send us the invoice, and we'll reimburse the invoice up to the 50%. For those services whose cost is a little bit higher than 10,000 euros, so we can pay into installments. The first one, when we sign the grant agreement, the agreement with the beneficiaries, we pay 50% as pre-financing, and the other 50% after the service conclusion. Before making the final payment, we ask the applicant to participate in our quality impact services services. They are obliged to collect information and to send this information to the European Commission. Just to give you some numbers to the present situation of Access Plus, so far we are approved a partially funded 167 application. As you can see, that 90% of the applications for internationalization services, but also if you consider matchmaking, more or less they are linked to the internationalization activities. So you can see that a lot of services been funded for internationalize the first abroad. Means that the typical country these services will cover are the United States, Canada, and maybe India, and these are the three main countries that have been targeted by the firms that are asking us services for internationalization. The other kind of services are for business planning, but most of the time are related to internationalization or maybe IPR. Sometimes IPR also is a service linked to the internationalization, since they have to protect the ideas, the innovation. And so there is the internationalization is a very key concern about the Access Plus support. And just to inform you who is going to apply to Access Plus, so we can see in this, you can see in the slide that the majority of the applicants comes from partners, from organizations participating in accelerator project. Then also we cover also Seal of Excellence projects, Transition, Pathfinder, and then we receive one application from the former SME instrument and two applications from two spin-offs generated within two accelerator projects. So in these slides, I show you how the service go from one from European country to another. So usually the applicants, when they ask services, they use both internal service provider, but the majority of the applicants are using service provider located in different European countries. This is very important for us, since as you can see, Access Plus also stimulate the networking within organization, not only in their own country, but also across all the European countries participating in the service catalog. This is my last presentation. So if you would like to apply to Access Plus, of course, I'm Antonio Zangheri, I'm the lead project manager. There is also my colleague Magloire that's supporting me in this project. We have also a team that dedicated to the evaluation, to the checks and others. So you can go directly to our website and you can apply it. And there you can find a lot of information. There is an help desk services, other help desk information for how to apply. So we provide full support from the beginning up to the end of the service conclusion.